Hello and welcome to another edition of Community Conversations. You're here with the Living Loving team, Nikki McKiernan, Caitlin Brennan, and Christy Holt. And today our special guest is Sam, Program Director from Community Tampa Bay. Welcome, Sam.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey. So we know a little bit about Community Tampa Bay because both Caitlin and I's children went to your Anytown camp last summer, and that was hugely impactful for them. Justice actually came away with a whole new opinion and view of other people, and it was great. But what else does Community Tampa Bay do?
So we are essentially an anti-discrimination organization. Our vision is a community free from all forms of discrimination. So apart from the Anytown program that both of your teens attended, we do a lot of educational facilitation in terms of community dialogue, professional education, working with Pinellas County School District with their administrators, faculty, and teachers to do work where they can have conversations with each other on what discrimination looks like in their specific spaces, and then use the tools that we are giving them to create action steps within which they can interrupt those spheres of influence that they have from the discrimination that they see happening in those places. So all the way from, yes, we have Anytown, which is our flagship youth program that then transcends into our year-round programming, all specifically catered to young humans. And that's one wing of ours because, you know, we very, very strongly believe that our youth are not leaders of tomorrow, they are leaders of today. And so we consistently provide programming so we can clear the way so that they can have platforms to do the work that they're so good and powerful at doing. And then on the flip side, we have professional education, which is mostly adult education, where adults of all ages and all different spheres of influence can come together to have very similar conversations like the ones we do with youth, but deconstructing discrimination with adults looks a little bit differently, a little more challenging. Yeah. And so that's the work that we do in those spaces.
So awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I know Keely had an amazing experience as well. How did you get involved with the program?
So with CTB, honestly, the stars aligned, the universe said, this is where you are going, and that is where I went. I had no clue that I was interested in advocating for youth voice. Fam, honestly, I don't even know if I had spoken to a high schooler before I joined Community Tampa Bay, right? Like, that's where I was. But I was an LGBTQ plus activist. I wasn't as intersectional as I am today. I did focus specifically on LGBTQ plus rights. I was right out of college. I was working for Equality Florida. And Community Tampa Bay approached me and said, would you be interested in taking on this position? I was very open and transparent with them that I had never worked with young humans before. They were like, yeah, but we think you're going to do all right. Sure enough, day one, my first day working for Community Tampa Bay was day one of Anytown Session 1, 2016. I literally jumped in the deep end and went with it. And my God, I completely fell in love. Couldn't have made a better non-decision in my life.
Wow. Yeah. What an asset they gave.
That's amazing. So tell us a little bit more about how both young humans and adults can access the program or get involved, or, you know, if there are any needs, the way that we can support you as a community.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that, especially because of the time that we are in right now with COVID-19. And so much of our work happening very much like this online. We were quick to pivot to the virtual platform because we wanted to make sure that we were meeting community needs, right? And so we're doing that on two levels. On the one hand, we have translated many of our programs into virtual programs so that we are having conversations around discrimination. We are having conversations around discrimination that are specifically woven around COVID-19, that we are creating spaces within which people can come, you know, share laughter, have a good time, and vent if they have to, and find community and camaraderie in those spaces. But also, like, a lot of our programming is highly educational, and so that component always seeps into everything that we do, right? So almost every day we have some sort of virtual program taking place on Zoom, on Facebook Live, or on Instagram, all of which can be found at our website on www.communitytampabay.org. We're also doing a lot of professional education programming now because with this old, new, current reawakening of social justice, especially around anti-Black racism and deconstructing systems of anti-Black racism, we wanted to find our place in how we could ally with the Black community. And so we started this series called Let's Talk About Racism, right? And so far that series has been running from 3 to 4:30 p.m., but now it will start running from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays, because humans are going back to work, or work schedules are becoming more tight, and so it's harder for people to be present in the middle of the day. And so we're moving it to the end of the day to provide access for more humans to be able to be a part of that. We're also working with Pinellas County Schools to create a virtual leadership conference that young humans can attend right before they go back to school. Because if they're going, regardless of whether they're going back to school digitally or in person, the work still remains to be done, and nobody knows that better than our youth. So we want to still provide them with the tools that they would have previously received at Anytown, but since Anytown is not happening in the summer, we want to still give them the tools that they need to create those safe spaces for themselves and their peers and the rest of their community to have the conversations that are important to them, especially now with everything with anti-Black racism coming to the forefront. I know that our young humans are craving that conversation. And so it is incumbent upon us to create that safe space for them to be able to have it.
Awesome.
And we can access that information where, Sam?
All of that information you can access on our website at communitytampabay.org. Anyone is free to contact me. My email address is sam@communitytampabay.org. So if your organization needs training, if you just want to talk about something that happened with you, if you want to simply talk to me about the virtual program that we're doing, or programming that we're doing, or just have a chat, you're welcome to do so as well. Reach out to me via my email at sam@communitytampabay.org. You can also reach out to me via my cell phone. What I tell people is I work with young humans, so literally everybody and their mother has my number. So I have no problem with people reaching out and accessing me, right? My cell phone number is 313-212-5788. That's 313-212-5788. Text me and we can schedule something.
That's awesome.
You're
unbelievable. And thank you for making yourself so available. Community Tampa Bay has been providing awesome services and diversity training for over a decade in the Tampa Bay area. Many friends of mine were able to take advantage of it way back in the 90s, and they've still proven to be community leaders and champions for justice. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for your organization. I encourage everyone to reach out and find some community with Community Tampa Bay. Thank you for tuning in today, and everybody stay safe out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, y'all.
Sam.
Thank you.